Erickson said he just got home. He's gonna jump in the
Yeah.
shower. You know, I didn't see when that was.
I didn't know he was back from. I assume he went on a trip to Walnut, Illinois. Illinois, yeah,
Yeah.
Walnut. So
That's
what?
where he went to visit his
Yeah.
folks for the holidays.
That's well, he'll have that. Yeah,
We're gonna get an
I know.
Illinois update.
Yeah, we don't want to burn it while
our man in the street.
We don't want to burn it while he's showering.
Oh yeah.
He got back just in time, probably under the radar. Like drugs used to be not his job, but it was like, this job is taken over for drugs, and I don't like it. It's like
he's replaced the drug
use.
He
stays out
9 to 5.
Right, he stays out late so he can wake up and be all wrung out for work and shit. Used to do that with drugs, man. You're cheating. But cocaine ain't the same as it was a while back either.
No.
Cocaine has changed. I'm gonna have to hire somebody to do it in front of me.
Oh, like a King's tester?
Yeah, like a coke tester. Just get some wiry little fucking addict.
You got plenty of people lined up for that job.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't want to use. I would get a recommendation from Hobo Danny. I wouldn't ask Hobo Danny to do it. I would assume his tolerance would be so fucking like he could do a couple of bumps of fentanyl and not have it affect him.
Yeah, you need someone who's active, not someone who like.
Yeah, it wouldn't show.
Not a good example of someone who could test for drugs.
Yeah, it's like Stanhope. Is this you've had 10 drinks? Is this strong booze? You won't know from him. You're not in. Are you in Palm Springs? Chaille?
Palm Springs, yeah.
Nice. Wow. Exciting. That's where my daughter took her first, not in that room maybe, but my daughter took her first steps in Palm Springs.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yep.
Were you there?
I was there, and my wife was at a meeting, and I could see she was making progress, but I just wanted to get her first down. And then she it's like she got up and took a step, and then she was off and running and dancing in front of a mirror. And
it would be difficult in this room as it lists to the side.
Yeah.
We're at the end of the building on the upstairs, so we're furthest from the foundation, and basically the room is like this. And I'm like, Jesus Christ! I just got done leveling the floor at the little house in Bisbee, and then I come here, and the room we check into is fucking like a sinking ship going over on the port side.
There's not a lot of water there either. It's not like flooding's taken out part of the floor.
This place has been here since I think the 50s or late 40s or something. Yeah.
Palm Springs is a town that's like that, feels that way. It's like like the Rat Pack could roll in and it would still not be that much different. I mean, I know there's different, like there's fucking Starbucks and all that shit around there, but it still feels like an old school kind of town.
Yeah, we drove around today and hit a bunch of thrift stores. We went east through Palm Desert because I was looking for a tailor to alter a suit, and we just kept hitting thrift stores. I was like, "Fuck, man, we were going to do my errand first, and then we were going to hit the thrift stores in Palm Springs, like proper." And we ended up hitting 3 or 4 before we even got to where we were going. And this is like where the people who work for the rich people in Palm Springs live. Palm Desert is like where all the workers were.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on over there.
I bet there's like new thrift stores opened up since COVID. Like, fuck, we got all, you got to have a lot of shit inventory, at least, just for a while.
No, I wish it was like we think it works, but I don't think that's how thrift stores work. Like 10% of the shit actually stays in the stores. Most of it gets sold in bulk by the ton and gets shipped to Africa and other places. Fast fashion is like just churns out all this product, and they can't keep up with it. And then most of it you can't sell here anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you go into a thrift store, you see all this shit on the rack and go, there's 90% of the stuff that didn't even make the rack. What kind of garbage are they dumping in this thing? And it's just a numbers game, they can't have enough space for it all.
We went to a yard sale whenever my kids were littler. I lived in Washington, and this lady it was huge, like it's wrapped around front backyard. She had everybody's sizes. We were like, this is the best yard sale ever. Then we figured out she was one of the sorters at the donation places and would just sift all the good shit out and go sell it in her yard sales. So we stole like a motherfucker from a yard sale. Learned that.
Yeah, she's a thief.
Yeah, we stole from the thief.
But my brother Larry, when he was rehabilitating, I guess, or I guess it was after rehab, or he went to rehab and then he got Jesus in him. And then he worked for a place, and that was one of the jobs he had, was sorting clothes. And they fired him because he was shopping on the job. Like my brother Larry has a keen eye, and when he saw a cool pair of pants come down, he would shove them aside, and he got caught.
Isn't he the one that had the some clown stuff?
Oh, he was in the clowns too, but he didn't dress well. He didn't dress like a clown. He dressed more like Tom Petty leisure clothes or something.
But I mean, he had an eye for things that he thought have some.
Larry still to this day gets new fashion. I would like to go school shopping with him. Let's get our.
It wouldn't be called school shopping.
Well, I know it'd be like get our desk clothes.
Funeral shopping.
Yeah.
Hey Larry, can we go get some trapper keepers after we get socks?
Yeah. What would you wear to my funeral? And I'm going to select what I would wear to your funeral kind of shopping.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And maybe
my mom used to always tell us to put tape under things at the house, which is really a morbid thing. Talking to your mom, and then I kind of understood it, because then when she knew something had tape under it, then she could look at that thing and go, Greg's going to have that in his house. Well, I mean, that's what she thinks. I didn't take everything, but I got it. It made sense to me. And, I mean, maybe Larry will have a little solace that you're going to wear, you're not going to wear a tuxedo t-shirt and pink high tops to his funeral, that you'll be wearing a outfit that he helped pick out.
I'd like to have, I tried to salvage some of Larry's shirts. I mean, I know he's still around, but he had too much shit and we moved him out of his trailer, and but I tried to salvage a few shirts, but you can't wash away certain things. And Larry's shirts, they had cigarette burns in them and moth holes, and and they just had a smell that you couldn't wash away. It was it's like one of them ducks they find in an oil spill. You can wash it about 10 times, it's still gonna fucking end up in the trash.
You can only scrub a feather so many times.
Yeah.
So it just loses its resilience.
My mom had that system too, with put your name on anything, and it's like, and it's like how many stickers do we have on the china cabinet? It's like really the only thing that anyone could eyeball as valuable. Like, could I get all the plastic tumblers? I don't want to put a sticker on them because people are still using them. But it was I can't think of anything that could have been taken that wasn't already stolen from my family. Like Jeff had a way of just taking shit he'd just take it. It was like it was downstairs and it was up in his room, and then it would just be his. He did that a lot. He didn't have boundaries. He wore other people's shit and stunk it up, and he didn't have boundaries. You can't take those who are like I think that this was probably my family's fortune, is we had about 8 or 10 like World War I tin soldiers, like painted. I don't know, they were
toy soldiers, like
they weren't even that valuable, but Jeff just took them. And then he took the sniper rifle, and I was the one who had an affinity for a sniper rifle. I was the one who pointed it at the mailman every day. And now I know it's not a good time to be talking about snipers, but I was a kid and I had a World War, I guess it was World War II, because my dad got it in the Marshall Islands. a Japanese sniper rifle, and it was just fun to cock that thing up and aim it at the
You were
mailman.
playing with an actual fucking sniper rifle from the Marshall
I-
Islands?
Yeah, we didn't have bullets for it.
Well, well, of course.
I mean, no, the mailman never looked up, and that was the same guy.
I
who
thought you, when you said you were pointing the rifle, I thought you were pointing a little army man that was laid out with a
I had a
rifle.
big,
You had an
big
actual
sniper
rifle?
rifle. I'd hang out the window, and I would get him up a couple, I was sporty about it. I wouldn't just really come up the sidewalk and
Yeah.
go, gotcha again, fella. He would be up a block or so, and he would, I try to get him while the car was moving. I can't believe I didn't, go into the military, because I really enjoyed that line of thinking. It wasn't work. Hey, Brett Erickson's here.
Hey guys.
All the way
Cheers.
fresh from Walnut.
Mhm. That's a distant memory after today.
Yeah. You no, you worked today. You
I
traveled.
worked today.
Traveled
I
Sunday.
came back yesterday.
You traveled on one of the worst reported as one of the worst weekends in the history of air travel. Delta
Yeah.
offered 8 people $10,000 each to just give up their seats for 8 people that needed to get to Minnesota from Grand Rapids.
I would
Wow.
have done that. I
Oh,
walked.
hell yeah.
Apparently I missed it because I had a 1:00 flight out of O'Hare. And so I got there at 10:30 thinking that's enough time, even if it's pretty busy.
Oh,
And I went through security in under 5 minutes. I was sitting at the airport bar at 10:45, completely checked in and at my gate. So everyone was like, wow, it just wasn't busy at O'Hare. When I landed in Austin, Austin was nuts. So I think everyone was waiting to fly home till like late in the day. And I just beat it. Because I was it was nothing.
Well, later in the day is when all the flights start getting jacked up because of other flights that are missed, or they're pulling someone off from being a dick, and they got the marshals involved. I mean, whatever. That's why flying out of San Francisco International SFO is like, you never leave there on time, and you should never get anything past 10 or 11 in the morning, because all the flights are late coming from the East Coast, and they make everything going out of there late. So yeah, you got lucky.
Yeah.
There's no way of planning for it. You did the right thing.
I'll say this, I think that air travel they should make the whole plane the layout of first class, and however expensive, they should eliminate the middle seats, and however expensive that has to make it, that's how expensive.
That's what it costs to fly.
Yes, because fucking cramming yourself into one of those coach seats for 3 hours is fucking ridiculous. You can't move. You have to stay perfectly still. I ate a 20 milligram gummy and put my headphones on and listened to music the whole time with my eyes closed in a meditative state of not moving at all, because you can't move.
Yeah.
I'm not a small person, but I'm not a big person either. And my knees are jammed into the seat in front of me. My arms are tucked in as tight as I can and still like on the armrest or hanging over. It's fucking ridiculous.
I was trying to think.
The person in front of me lays their seat back. I'm fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I don't
already
even think
have
that people can do
room.
that anymore. I think
They
it's
do.
just people
I
that-
I
it
don't.
happened.
I never put my seat back unless there's no one behind me.
I would never do it either, but I know, remember when we went to Vegas that time, somebody did it and I kept fucking shoving forward. I just put pressure on it. So every time they would push the button to lean it back, I'd push it forward more. Like, fuck you. I will
Yeah.
fucking kick your ass, man.
Yeah, that should be part of flying, is like, you want those couple inches, let's fight.
That's the
I'm not,
opposite of what Brett just said.
Well, but I do that too. It's like, I don't have that long of legs, but however long my legs are, my knees are perfectly sculpted to the shape that they fucking throw you in. And when somebody jams it back a couple of inches, I fight like I'm getting raped. Like every inch is like, no, you're not getting another inch on me. And then I'll hold the seat for a long time, and then I'll just drop it. That's another technique. Chad, Chad may not have had to use that second move, but I'll stay on them, and then that's the person. I mean, I always check to make sure they're more slight than me and look maybe less inclined to fuck with somebody.
Oh, you mean to make sure it's an old lady?
But
or a kid?
those are the worst people because they look like they're not doing anything wrong. And you're like, I'm supposed to sit here quietly while this person in front of me is knee raping me. And it's just like, oh, it's no big deal. I'll fight that motherfucker. I followed a guy off of the plane once for doing that. And I kind of cooled down when I saw a line open at McDonald's.
Yeah, another fucked up thing is you fly, like I flew United on the way back, and they charge for every bag, but carry-ons are free. And that's fucked because
It's opposite the way it should be.
Yes. What that means is that everyone tries to get everything they can into a carry-on. So they're fucking the sitting, there shouldn't even be an area above you being used for luggage at all. It shouldn't
Absolutely.
You should have to have anything that you bring onto the plane in your personal area. If you can't keep it in your personal area, check
Backpack.
it.
Yeah,
I saw in the news the other day. Did you guys see that new design of the plane seating that guy came up with? And one sits on top and the other one has
double
your legs.
decker.
Yeah, your
Ask
legs
him
are
out.
underneath. Yeah, the human centipede seating.
oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
do that.
think about it. The most expensive real estate on the plane is the overhead baggage, and that's free.
Yeah.
If you roll in with your carry-on bag, you're allowed to put it up there. That is premium space. That should be what costs money.
Right.
The good thing,
You trust them with your life, but you don't trust them with your suitcase in the belly of the plane.
Well, they'd put that shit in the belly of the plane if it was free.
Yeah,
You're directing their
That's what I'm saying. It should be the other way
acts.
around.
I like, that's what I like about being the last dude to board to get in this shitty seat, is because usually they'll be like, sir, can we check your bag for free? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I wanted you to do in the first place, but you wanted to charge me $35.
But see, if you said everyone bags are free in the belly, you get 2 bags, but it's $75 to put something above your head, everyone would put it in the belly of the plane. That's just the way it would be.
You just need a little gummy purse.
Yeah, give your weed purse on you.
Yeah, don't
That's
hassle
right.
people with drugs, and it'll be a lot quicker.
I think you're right, Erickson. I think what it needs to be is just double seats, maybe
Yes.
a single row in the middle where you sit by yourself, and then it just costs more to travel to where, and also it's easier to get put on the fucking we no longer want your business list, so people behave better, and then it costs a lot more, so less people will just frivolously go somewhere. Yeah,
If you,
Make
you'd have
more
to
people
do-
take the bus again. That could be the campaign.
the buses
Yeah.
will get better.
all you'd have to do is make the plane a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, and then completely eliminate the overhead bin and make it a double decker like a bus. And then you could have all the room you needed, and you'd still have more people on the plane, and the plane wouldn't have to be that much bigger.
Hey,
Because
well-
that shit, that all that carry-on stuff, there's so much wasted space in that part of the plane above your head.
How about this? When you check in, you stand on a scale, and that decides what seat you sit in. Not everybody's designed to fit in the seat. And then you got, I mean, I feel sorry for the big tubbies who have to sit in there, and then they feel like they got to be friendly. And somehow I'd like to just tell them, you don't have to be, look, I know you're embarrassed. Don't be friendly, because that's just breaking 2 rules now. You're half your body's slopped into my seat, and now you're talking to me. And you should just have a big seat.
It's not even tubby. You don't even have to be tubby. If you're in coach, part of you is in the other seat. It doesn't even, you have to be rail ass thin to fit in that fucking seat. And you have to be under 5'9". Or if you're 5'9", if you're over 5'9" and 160, you can't fit into the seat.
Yeah.
I literally try to fold myself in small and then hold still like a fucking asshole
It
the whole
sucks.
time.
For 3
Yeah.
hours.
I saw an old, it was from the Stanhope baseball, the what's a fucking termite day.
Yeah.
Killer
And was
Termite
that
Day,
you?
but
And was
July
that
3rd.
was that a bigger? There's a like a big dude. It looks like Chad Shank, but I don't think it's. Is that you? No, that would.
Chad was there.
I was
Okay.
there.
All
Yeah,
right,
we
you
lifted
yeah.
that guy up into the stand. The guy was sitting at the. Everyone was sitting down low, and then as the sun, the Arizona sun, came in, everyone kind of kept moving back up in the stand, so they were in the shade. And this poor guy in a wheelchair is sitting there, just fucking just puddles dripping down his face. And Chad got a bunch of guys to lift him up into the stands.
Oh, nice.
That was Killer Termite Day, yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I had my chemo last week. And I turned, the color of that guy in the wheelchair. I was like, everything was cool. Chemo, I mean, not cool. It sucks or whatever, but I haven't had any kind of like reaction. So I get in there and they start in like they do the preliminary shit I'm fine with. They hook me up to a bag. And then it's just like all of a sudden I'm fucking sweating and I can't breathe very well. And then I get up and I got to tote my cart to go into the bathroom. And then I get in the bathroom and my face is fucking completely like red, like fucking, completely red, like fucking sweating, and I can't breathe. And I'm assuming, oh fuck, I'm gonna fucking, fall down too. I'm in the bathroom with this cart. And then I thought that's fucking Elvis-esque. Thinking I'm gonna fucking die here, and I didn't fall down. I fell into the door. It took me a minute, but I went back out there, and then I got in the chair again, and I waved them over. And next thing I know, there was like 5 ladies around me, all doing their diligent. They all had a task that they were doing. And anyway, I'm not doing that chemo drug anymore.
Oh, you're off it?
That one. No, I still
Okay.
have half of it, but that one, it was like I had it every week up until that week, and then I just had a sniff of it, and it fucking almost killed me. So, or it felt like it
Well,
almost killed me.
it's
I don't know what it
poison.
was doing. Yeah.
It's poison. So your body finally, you can only take so much of it before your body's like, fuck this.
It was dramatic. Like I was fucking, I thought I was going. I was in the chair. My eyes are rolling back a little bit. They're talking about, oh, his eyes, he's okay. They're being, confident with me. So I don't go to the white light. I go, oh, no, it's right over here. I can just, hey, the lighting's great in here.
The one thing to hope
should know
is
better that you never follow the light.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the one thing to hope is that as shitty as that makes you feel, that just shows you how well it's fucking kicking ass in there.
I guess
it's fucking wiping shit out. So hopefully it doesn't wipe too much of you out in the process, but that's how it works, right? I mean,
I guess so. So, but the good news is that one was the one that caused me. I didn't read which one it was, but I knew right away that I didn't have the neuroplasty or whatever that's called, neuroplasm. Fuck, I don't know. It's a shit that makes my fingers and my sense of cold off the charts. Mm-hmm. And I also haven't been sick at all this week, so I've been kind of tired. But the main shit kicker that I've been taking is no longer on my menu. And I could, if I would have had a half a bag. I mean, I just got a little bit of it and I turned purple and it was like, how did I have it last week? Or 2 weeks ago, how did I managed to not fucking have any major meltdown after that shit?
I mean, it could be something that you did like 8 or something like within the last 24 hours that caused it.
Yeah, but I didn't. I wasn't doing any
it's not like you follow directions.
I've been eating everything the same. Yeah, I know. And I got these new needles. They sent me, they didn't have the ones I am used to. And then they sent me these other ones and she goes, you want me to explain it to you? And I go, no. But she said,
hit them with the pointy end.
But she said,
which end do you use?
She said I could go at a 15% angle on the needle. And that's not
boy.
true. She meant 90-degree angle. At least that's what I had to go to the directions, because the first 3 syringes were so fucking painful. It was like I was shooting something. It was like stung every time I'd plunge it. And I know there's something in the directions that could have helped me. But what she said was inaccurate. I was doing it at the 15-degree angle. Like, oh, she said it on the phone, I could do that. And then in the directions, it said no, or it didn't say
So-
no. It said, put it in at this angle, 90 or 45. And I was like, fucking 15%.
Well, 90 and 45 is.
But she said on the phone, see, that's why.
Yeah, 15
Directions
is
will-
like subcutaneous. You're just putting that shit under your skin.
Yeah, that's like, would make a blister.
Yeah, and that's not where it goes, I guess, because it fucking hurt. And I just kept pumping it in there. And I, on I did day 4 today. And go, God,
Well,
I
if-
do. It pisses me
I
off. I
mean,
can't read
okay,
directions.
Hold on, Andy. If you start off straight up and down and you go 15 degrees, that's almost nothing.
I think
If you go
15 is from the
90,
torso.
90 is like parallel to your skin, right?
I thought
No,
90
you
is
got it,
like
you
this.
got
90
it backwards, Chaille. 90 is
Okay.
perpendicular.
Yeah, 90 straight in.
Flat 45.
And that's what I'm supposed to be doing with this one.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's every
putting it
shot
all
I've ever got. I'm
willy-nilly
not a
like it's.
doctor.
Yeah, well, I am now because I do my own injections, but I was like, it's maddening.
Maybe the
Directions are
nurse, maybe they had a meeting and they're like, we've got to get this guy to start reading these directions.
Yeah, make it sting.
What can we do? Let's tell him to jam it in completely sideways. You know how much that hurts, right? Right.
It's
Oh
just
yeah,
this-
fuck.
Directions aren't
They'll have
written
no
by.
choice.
This may sting should be like, if it stings, should be like highlighted.
All
As
the
the whole-
nurses
whole-
and candy strivers are back there taking bets like when they're watching Spalding, gonna pick his nose and
Yeah.
Caddyshack.
Yeah.
No, I
The
think
fuck says he eats it.
Picking
in
through
a-
the bushes.
I'm in the rare category. They go, that not many folks elect to do this at home.
Yeah.
They didn't really, the guy didn't give me a choice. My man doctor didn't give me a choice. I mean, he's the guy who calls me my man. He's a man as well, I assume. And, he's he's not there for me to like, but I dislike him, and not in a way where I'm going to prove him wrong. It's like, what's he saying about my pants? Like he says shit like that. Like, it's kind of like, oh, I couldn't get away with wearing those. Like, why couldn't you? Why couldn't we trade pants right now and have it just work out like that, but I don't get to ask him that kind of shit because he's not there for that.
Don't you think that maybe he's trying to compliment you in a weird way, that you have style that he doesn't have?
Well, I think he's insulting me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he insulted me for dying. He insulted me that I wouldn't be alive for 5 years. That was a fucking slap in the face. He said a few things that are just, I
Well, fuck
feel
him.
like, fuck him. And I've only got to see him 3 more times. And then I'm going to say, hey, man, I wish I could wear hipster boots like that, but I think somebody kicked my faggot ass.
That's the same thing that he does. In fact, you just did the
Yeah.
same thing.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah, I couldn't get away with rolling my pants up like that because I'm not fucking
I haven't
trying that
quite
hard.
burned any bridges in the medical community. Not quite yet.
Oh, there's a lot of cancer doctors just in that one building. And I would prefer one I could say his name without, like,
Is this the same guy that did the surgery?
no.
Okay.
I don't want to say his name, but then a nurse called, and her name was like Yuma
You don't
Wiener.
have to say any names, Andy. How about
Well,
that?
I mean, I'm not going to get it right, but I heard Wiener part,
Oh, that's true.
and it's like Uma Wiener. That's what she said that's how I heard it into my phone. And then I got a call up, and I don't know really how to say my doctor's name real well. And then I said, his doctor, and I might be saying this wrong, Uma Wiener.
Sounds like a prank call from junior high kids.
Yeah, so she put me on the phone with her.
They're straight fucking with you, dude. They're playing prank after prank after prank on you.
Yeah, I'm thinking about my mom's wig and dark glasses for the last treatment, just so I can slip in and out of there without anybody recognizing me.
I have to. I'm calling for my doctor. It's Doctor I'm a fag.
Yeah, I'm a big fat loser. That's 2 R's on the end.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm glad you're 3/4 of the way through it.
Yeah, I
That's
think
pretty great. That's a
I
good
think
milestone. You've only got 3 left, man.
3
That's
weeks of
fucking
3 more,
fantastic.
or well, 2 more months, or what is it?
3 more. Well,
3,
3 more. So
2,
that'll be
4,
6
a month and a
weeks.
half, not
Yeah.
even 2 months.
Andy,
of
don't
this
sweat
shit.
those details, man.
I know,
Just
it's like they give me
keep
a
on
printed.
keeping on.
I've always been on time. Like when they give me a Chaille schedule, like 2 weeks ahead of time, and I know when I go in for labs, I know when I go in for that, and it's all good. But when they don't give it to me, I call them up and say, "What time am I supposed to be here?" And it's like an hour ago. We're supposed to be here at 7:30. Well, no, I forgot to ask when I was at my labs what time my appointment was, but I just guessed, and I was wrong. They open earlier than that. But I was kind of like there was a new lady, and she was getting the Whipple surgery, and she was getting
Oh.
chemotherapy first.
Is this
Yeah.
in the waiting room? You're chatting.
No,
with-
she was in a chemo chair. I mean, I don't like talking
oh,
to
yeah,
people
yeah,
in the chemo chair, but I heard she was getting the Whipple surgery. So we were talking, and I was telling her, because she was there for her first dose of chemo, and she's was getting it at like opposite as I did. She's got to shrink something before they do the surgery.
That's bad
Yeah.
news.
But I was telling her, man, I said chemo, it's more boring than anything. And then I'm up sweating and shuffling around like a dope fiend a few minutes later, and surrounded by it. It's like I'm sure she's not as a fucking, it's like I was trying to be a brave, tell her it's not that much to worry about. And then
You're
she
the
saw,
comfort animal, like the
yeah,
comfort beagle.
it's like
Did
when
you
I
whip
went,
out your scar?
no, I didn't show her my scar. She didn't ask. It's kind of, that's how I do the scar. If you want to see it, I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
Because I did it to get a couple weed discounts, and it didn't really help. And I just felt awkward about it. Like,
Would you
what do
go
you?
into like a mesh tank top and they go,
Well,
"Whoa,
when
what's
I had
going on under there?"
when I had the chemo bag, I was just trying to work that. It's like 25% off. Well, how about this? I got a fucking bag, and that's chemotherapy drug pumping into me right now, and that's my scar from surgery. How much is the top shelf? Oh, really? It's still okay.
He's like Spicoli picking out lint. How much is the top shelf?
But yeah, I'm keeping the scar to myself for now. you know?
Nice.
Yeah, I might do it. I don't know. Now that I'm good with needles, I could do a tattoo, and I could incorporate it into something.
You
Dragon.
could do a
if I-
tattoo, you
Bar?
think?
Like a dragon or lizard or
You think that the tricky part of doing a tattoo is poking the needle in?
yeah,
I
it
think
hurts.
it's drawing the picture, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but I already got the outline of a snake. Just put a head and a tongue on it, and we're pretty good.
All right.
It could be like a prison tattoo. I could make a snake.
Oh, you're gonna
And then-
tattoo yourself?
Well, no. Well,
No, he's talking
no.
about getting a tattoo and incorporating like this one, like incorporate a
Right,
scar
right. Yeah,
into
yeah.
the tattoo.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't have tattoos, but
I wouldn't do
does,
that one.
does scar tissue tattoo like regular skin, or is it?
No.
No, but it can be done. I follow a dude on Twitter. God damn it. I forget his name now, but he specializes in covering scar tissue with like giant portrait tattoos that are
Yeah.
amazing. Fuck is that guy's name?
A burn victim is just a blank canvas. Like, oh, look at, yeah, I could do
There's
that
a
with
cool
that.
with a little bluebird grabbing a branch, Andy.
I wouldn't want to do one that would intrigue my cat. You got a little bird by the side of your testicles.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cute, and then the bird claws or the cat claws you.
Yeah.
It's
Now you
just
got a
nature.
staircase situation going on.
Yeah, now I'm suing. So yeah, no shit. I was trying to figure out what that animal is for my yard. I don't really have one unless I could get a deer up in here. Yeah, we're just all out looking at fireworks, and a couple of fucking deer come rushing down the hill. Not that yeah, I won't go into the staircase situation any further. But I did have
Really
a,
look at ace_no_buggy on Instagram if you can look
what's
through
that tell you? What's that tell
That's
you?
that's this dude that
Oh,
does
okay.
these scar tattoos that Chaille's showing that are unreal.
No,
Yeah.
no, wait.
Ace_no_buggy.
Oh,
Ace no buggy. I know it's fucking awkward, but we got
They
time.
do. I doubt this thing will be much, but I could do something with that too. Yeah, port. It's just gonna sink back to skin.
It would be it would look cool, Andy.
I could do.
I have the top of my head, it looks like a spine for some reason. I got like little knobs all over. When I shaved my head when I was younger, I found this out. So now as soon as I shave my head bald, I'm gonna do a tattoo on my head incorporating that part of my weird fucking
Yeah.
shaved head. So I think, yeah, incorporating your scar you could make like a badass dragon with wings off the side of it.
It's just got like a drag queen
With wings up the
with a
side.
dragon drag queen. That'd
would
be something. And then
even
I
better.
could march around in a fence. I want it to be like something that would trigger Christians to be angry. Like Billy Graham getting sodomized by Franklin.
That would be great.
Yeah. That's for my back, maybe. That's a big one. You'd want to do the Graham jawline justice.
God, I hate that guy so much.
Yeah. He ruined he didn't ruin my childhood. Other things collaborated on that. But I remember my dad watching Billy Graham, and I remember being worried about the world ending way more than a kid should really be.
Yeah.
Now a kid needs to think about it, because every time you step out, it might be the last time. But back then we lived in an idyllic world, and nothing could fuck with you that much. Except for
Yeah,
drunk
well,
drivers.
the people who tell you the world is going to come to an end aren't even worried about the things that are going to make your world come to an end. That's the problem. They're telling you a bunch of shit that isn't going to happen. Meanwhile, you could get gunned down stepping out of your front porch and going to a fucking 4th of July parade.
Yeah,
That's not in the sermon.
That kid, there's a kid who they found him like a 2-year-old, blood on his socks, and both his parents got killed in the thing. And like, isn't that like Batman? Like they're starting to GoFundMe. It's like, just fucking, give this kid all the money and then turn him out, because there'll still be fucking machine guns, and then he could be Batman. He just goes around and beats the shit out of people that have machine guns or something.
Yeah,
clearly that kid has that fucking, I mean, Batman just Batman lost both parents, right?
Yeah.
Damn it. Did Adam West, was that Batman? Did he have that same sad backstory
In real life?
Well, I mean, just as that TV show, did they?
I mean, it was the story of all the Batmans.
I know,
That's the origin story of
Batman. Adam West didn't do any of that dark shit.
No, that was the campy Batman.
Yeah, but I don't think they really got too
Batman.
into it, you know. But I don't think I don't think in the Adam West version, Batman's mom and dad were stopping in like Seinfeld's parents and bothering him and Robin.
Who's this new kid?
Yeah. Oh, Bruce.
Well,
the place is a mess.
I mean, as an actor, though, did they tell him? You know, they must have had to tell him. You know, why am I doing this? Why am I? Well, your
But the
parents were.
Watusi.
Adam West wanted to know his motivation in fighting Burgess.
I guess.
Meredith
I mean,
as the Penguin.
maybe it was purely. He took it that way, that it was all fucking the Watusi.
I think it was all the Watusi.
But it was funny later in his life, much later, where he was chiming in that he wanted to audition for the role of Batman. That time didn't have a crossover to the new Batman. As soon as you did the Watusi, you were never going to be the real Batman.
No, they should have let Adam West play Alfred.
Yeah, he should have been in it.
Because I mean, it was Michael Caine. And that's, you're wasting Michael Caine on that. It's not that hard to beat Alfred. You just stand around and you say a couple lines. That could have been Adam West, that would have been cool.
Be a tip of the cap too. right?
Yeah. He could have pulled that off.
Yeah, I would.
Might have not been cool for Adam West though.
Maybe not, but
To be
it's a
so
pretty,
close to the
pretty
suit.
big movie. He probably would have done it. He was doing fucking voiceovers for Family Guy all the time. He probably would have been happy to be in a fucking,
Yeah,
$500 million picture.
he lived out his years in Idaho. Was it let's see, I think Idaho, where he had an art museum with his wife. My
Cool, man. Adam
Yeah.
West is great.
Yeah, my daughter, I tried to talk her into going to the art museum that he ran. And I go, it's Batman. And she wasn't even into the Batman movies. So she wouldn't go in there. Like, man, he's in Gunsmoke, yo.
He was?
I don't know. He had to be in that, didn't he? He had to be in
You're
it.
just making up credits that you think your daughter will like, and you chose
Well,
Gunsmoke.
I don't remember him. And I watched the car rights, and I don't remember him being a guest on there, but
He wasn't in, but I don't think he was in any of those shows.
fucking blackballed. He got blackballed from Hollywood for being Batman.
He was on Gunsmoke,
He was?
Yeah,
1963.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, come
Yeah.
on. He
Yeah.
didn't start
had to
off
be.
as Batman.
He
Yeah.
played Batman on Gunsmoke. It was towards the end. They were running out of ideas.
He did. Yeah.
It
Man, they
was
told him to
Batman
dance.
versus Festus.
There was a gun shooter in town. Fuck a gun shooter. Everybody's a gun shooter. He made him dance and the Watusi. And then they go, man, that's pretty good. Let's just do a spinoff. It's like Better Call Saul. Yeah, look at him. Fucking gun smoking it up.
Yeah.
He could have been a
He was
Bond.
good.
He could have been a
Yeah,
Bond, but he
he was
chose to be a
right.
buffoon. He chose the light role, and America never wanted to see him in a dramatic role after
He
that.
reminds me of the guy who was in Westworld, the younger guy in Westworld who was like the owner of the company or whatever. Who's
The
also
original movie with Yul
no,
Brynner?
not the movie. No,
Uh-huh.
no, the TV show. It's also that same character. That same guy was also one of the McBoyles in It's Always Sunny. That's the guy I'm talking about.
My fucking dog.
Oh,
But I don't know his name.
Hold on. Is it Jimmy Simpson?
That's him. Yep.
I got a picture. Hold on.
I gotta let my dog in the green room.
Here we go.
See, look at that.
Come on,
Fucking
Riley.
looks like Adam West's son.
Riley.
I mean, yeah, you could probably say that. People believe you. So, Chad, hey, I was looking. I can't get into Instagram.
Yeah, Shay, I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't know why I was so specific, because even just a snow buggy on Google will show you pictures, but I always forget that it's more. When I want to do that, I'll fucking message it on here, a link for you
Yeah,
instead
if you
of
did that, yeah, but I can't get on Instagram because
I forget how fast the fucking conversation shifts. So I'm like, oh well, fuck, that was already. So yeah, I'll next time if I have that, I'll just chat it over a link.
There you go.
That's a new one. That's the new Adam West.
That's the
Oh,
guy
that's
who I
Adam
said,
West.
Adam.
Yeah.
Here,
Uh-huh.
That's who I
looked
think
it up.
young Adam West looks like.
Wow. Maybe how about we talked to Sandro and they do behind the scenes of Batman next. Sandro could be, I don't know who would be in that.
Oh, the making of
Batman, the
Batman.
series. Yeah, that's not much of a.
Well, Sandro could play, or if they do the making of Batman, the movies, Sandro could play, did the Danny DeVito Penguin.
Yeah.
He'd be a funny penguin.
Actually, Sandra would be a good henchman in like Batman or the Riddler's posse. He's got that
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
He's a
He
bigger
could deliver
part
the
than this.
lines.
I'm trying to get him a bigger part. He was so good in the offer. I was blown away by it.
Yeah. He'll be typecast as a guy who can only, throw himself after an explosion.
Did
Yeah.
Adam West ever look young? I'm looking at these pictures of him. They're all the same picture.
Yeah, him and James Kirk, or fucking, God damn it, Shatner. Yeah, the Shatner and him probably run into each other. They probably were both up for that same part in Gunsmoke.
Could be.
They're about the same Hollywood age. Look the same kind of. Wonder who celebrity fight between those two back in the day. That's what I'd like to see.
Is Adam West still alive? He just died.
No, Adam West
He's
is
dead.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shame.
I think he's left. He left Burt Ward. I think Burt Ward's still around. Maybe.
No one cares. That's the problem.
Yeah. He had a big dick.
Burt
That's
Ward
all.
was, wait, what?
Let's, well, I don't know if he had a big dick, but his outfit would show his penis too much. So they had
Andy,
to
when you say he had a big dick, it sounds like he has a big dick.
Well, I'm just saying he had too big of a dick for the panties they put him in.
That's not what you said, though.
Well, I said it
That's
wrong, and
not
I corrected myself because I don't really know.
It is
just know that he-
interesting. that-
Like, does John Stockton have a big dick? Well, or did he just wear tiny shorts? I think he's a big dick and he wore tiny shorts.
It was interesting that the relationship between Batman and his young, what's the word? I was going to say paramour.
Apprentice?
That's not-
Ward.
His ward, Burt Ward, was so awkward and weird that when they redid it and made those movies, they decided not to even do Robin at all. And then they did for one movie and it was also terrible. So they just never went back to it again.
Yeah. Well, you
Acted
were
like that never happened in the story.
The next one, they're gonna have a full-on gay relationship.
yeah.
That's the next Batman.
That's the only reason it would make
Guaranteed.
sense, really.
Dark groomer.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he's this Dark Knight. He fights crime, and half of it, well, almost all of Batman's thing comes down to being able to keep his identity secret. So then he's going to adopt some at-risk kid.
Yeah.
And right away, you got trouble. He's already like, in trouble. And then you're going to take him in and hope he doesn't snap under the pressure. Yeah. Burt Ward had no chance to make that role. It's stupid. He's falling around a guy. That's what he was. Was Robin the original? No, Tonto was the original sidekick, probably.
I mean, lots of people had sidekicks.
But like where it was like
That one was just a weird. That was just a weird one. It was just a weird.
dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even before the, everyone's a pedophile thing we're suffering through now, people could kind of tell that Batman was kind of a groomer when it came to Robin,
Really?
right? Like, well, I mean, what else is going on there? He's
I mean, it was a different time where, you could
he
have
was
that
a-
and not
he
be
was
a
an-
weird.
explain to me the relationship between Batman and Robin and try to
He
tell
was an
make it sound-
orphan himself, and then he wanted to help another orphan because he knew what it was like.
Matt
The
Gates has that.
apprentice system.
Matt Gates took in that kid.
Yes. All of you are
Wouldn't-
making arguments that
It wouldn't
support
fly
my-
now. None of us are saying it would fly now or
This
it's
is
plausible, but
1960s,
that was
They dressed the orphan like this and drove around in a convertible with him all day.
I
And he's
think-
in too tight of shorts. So he could make comments like, "Oh, it looks like Robin's a little excited to fight
Like a
crime."
little Robin's egg over there.
Robin's-
Yeah.
it was- That's how he knew he was into it. Right away. Oh, I see.
Yeah, he knew he had a passion for the fight.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And an R on his
Yeah.
nipple.
Here's
I think the
reward.
full on gay Batman would, with relationship with all the complications Andy talked about, and then all the other superheroes would condemn them if they knew it was that would sell huge right now.
Yeah.
They should go
Superman
back
was a
and
big homophobe.
Yeah,
they should
yeah.
make hire actors and then just make like the original Batman, just make it gay. Just include scenes where it's two dudes making out.
Well, I'm
and it
sure
looks
those
enough
movies
like
exist,
them.
Andy. They're out there.
I'll go Google them later.
What if Rob?
Boy Wonder.
What if
Boy,
we took what if we took it the other way and Robin didn't identify as a male?
Yeah.
He identified as a they or them. And we could
That's
really gin this up into the new era.
Yeah.
And what
like
if we did? And what if we did make Batman a groomer, and at the end he gets busted and goes to prison?
Yeah. Yeah. What if, yeah,
And
Robin,
Hank
the whole time, Robin
to
was
show that you
undercover.
can take down the highest
Yeah.
people, regardless of what society says.
And look, Bruce Wayne,
We got $1 million idea.
Bruce
He did-
Wayne is a billionaire from New York who's, you don't really know how he made all of his money, but he's got a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of friends and a lot of cool properties and a whole bunch of things. Sound like anybody familiar?
Bunch
Yeah.
of
That
aggressive
may or may not have
toys.
committed suicide in prison.
Batman Island.
An island.
Did he have one? He should have had an island.
Oh Jesus!
Thanks for the title of the podcast.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Do you guys know how to say Ghislaine? Is it Ghislaine?
Ghislaine?
Ghislaine.
When I hear it on the
S
news,
is silent. Don't pronounce, just forget you see it.
all right,
So it's what?
I think it's Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. That's-
Oh, I was
that's
saying
what-
Yes,
Ghislaine.
from Tracy, who's going crazy in the background because she's a huge comic book nerd.
Uh-huh.
She's
very
hearing
she-
this.
blasphemy.
I hope she's not a Ghislaine
It's our
fan.
idea.
She's taking notes.
I know. I'll get her excited with my recommendation later too.
Oh boy.
It's not super. I'm gonna get that fucking boys show. Everybody's already talked it out, and then I'll get it for 30 days and watch all 3 seasons.
I
Come up to
I only
speed on it.
watched the first episode of season
Oh.
3 and I haven't even been back to it. I was just
That's it?
commenting on the first.
I was,
first scene.
I
Which is
I
incredible.
texted you guys as soon as I watched it,
Yeah.
and then I turned it right off. There was no.
But I do like that show. I
do too.
have some complaints about it. I think there's a couple ways that they kind of half ruined it with a couple of the way they did their storylines, but I like the idea of superheroes being assholes who basically are just like, movie stars or, rich professional athletes who sign autographs and, are completely
That are managed
egotistical,
by PR
egotistical
people.
fuckheads. Yeah.
Yeah.
With agents and handlers.
Narcissistic
and
fucks.
yeah. I find that an interesting take. So, that part of it's pretty good. And the guy who plays Homelander, the Superman-like character, is fucking great. And that's the main one. So
But I feel nothing but regret for anyone I steered to the staircase.
watch
gonna
the
watch-
documentary instead of the
Yeah.
HBO show if you're
Well,
gonna
that's why I threw my brand behind Bill Pullman, because at least you can support it. Fucking Bill Pullman, man. I watched Independence Day on Independence, I guess the day of.
I saw a good
uh,
tweet from Randy Quaid yesterday. I think, what was it? I'm trying to remember.
I think I'm
what it-
blocked. I think Randy Quaid's my celebrity block.
Yeah, a
that
good
he blocked
one.
me.
I'll have to look it up. It made me laugh. I'm like, damn, dude. It is like, how like the conspiracy theories of just like grabbing, words out of a grab bag and making that well, that's the conspiracy.
Yeah,
It seemed like that.
he'll be back. Just when we need Randy Quaid, he'll come back and win an Oscar.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he getting
Yeah.
anywhere? Has he been in anything?
No, he's got some back rent to pay.
Yeah.
Well,
Isn't
yeah,
he
I
banned
mean-
from the United States? or
They
something?
kind of took the they kind of took the place, and they gave me the RV. And now I'm up in Canada. I think he's back in the States. I think he was really hoping Trump would win and he'd have a bigger role in government. And he probably would have. That's the beauty of it, is he probably
Oh.
would have been like Secretary of Defense by now.
Here it
Randy
is.
Quaid.
Rupert Murdoch has been kidnapped by his children to keep his wife, Jerry Hall, from being with him.
He's got a Rupert Murdoch
Gary
fixation.
Hall
Jerry Hall, yes.
from the Stones?
This was my response. The Murdoch children have covered up Rupert's death to keep wife Jerry Hall from going back to Mick Jagger, also dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jerry Hall, who used to be married to Mick Jagger, has just got a divorce from Rupert Murdoch. They've been married for a while.
she likes rich guys with mouths.
It's like a sloppy kisser.
That root, he had a mask and made love to Rupert Murdoch in a video that he made a couple
Randy
during,
did?
yeah, during the pandemic when he was really losing his shit. And it was like him and his wife, and they were at a park. I don't think he was acting, but they were like wearing masks and simulating sex, and she was wearing a Rupert Murdoch mask. So it's, yeah, that's not just a random tweet. He was thinking about that one for a while.
Oh yeah, here we go. You know, I'll put the picture I can put up.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I was like, hey, where's good old Randy from Vacation fame? And I'm like, oh my God, kids, look away, kids. Cousin Eddie's being awful rough with that Rupert Murdoch fella, but it's okay. I think it's his wife. But yeah, he was like, you know, I think he was, it seemed like, just from, I don't want to ruin his career or anything, but from an outsider's view, it seemed like somebody might have hit the crystal meth.
It does look a little
He
like
was
rapey,
yeah.
rapey, yeah, like bad porn.
If it was a Letterman appearance, it would be legendary, because it was like he was just batshit crazy. But I think it was, you know, he's no Dennis. I'll bet his parents say that all the time.
Speaking of Dennis, if you watch The Boys, the main character in the show, the young protagonist, is Dennis Quaid's kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him and
looks just like him.
Does Randy got any? I wonder if Randy's got any kids.
It's weird that Randy Quaid is now the better looking brother.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking strange to say.
Yeah.
Are you talking about this guy right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Randy. Or that's Dennis Quaid's kid.
Oh wow.
The
Sounds
rookie.
like I look at credits.
Yeah. I think almost every actor would benefit themselves by making reproducing themselves for playing them younger in movies. I mean, Hanks did it, and then he had that other that rapper kid.
Oh,
But there's a lot of actors. Ice Cube had his kid.
Gandolfini's kid just played him.
Yeah.
In the prequel to The Sopranos.
And if Tom Hanks had turned out to be a fucking rapper with no talent, then he would have had a kid who could have played him in the movie. Yeah.
He could do the Bosom Buddies rap.
Yeah, that's a great show, man. But now they would say that shows grooming people.
Well, it's definitely you know, you'd have to have trans women playing those characters, so you know, it'd be
That'd make it
inappropriate
hilarious.
to have a
No.
a cis hetero couple of guys playing the Bosom Buddies.
Wouldn't that remove the joke?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Sorry, I'm slow.
Yeah, it would. Turns out. Green light it. Let's make 10 episodes. I would probably bang Peter Scolari in that wig.
Well, you were just at
pretty good.
You were just in Walnut where that hairstyle is still.
Yeah, it's still
Man.
there.
I love my hometown, but you ain't wrong, Andy. I in fact said it to my sister that Walnut is where female hairstyles go to die. All the women in Walnut have short hair. It's like they just said, fuck it. You know, we're done. I'm not trying anymore. They do that thing, you know, that chop thing where like the back is all chopped, like weird.
It's like a horse took a bite.
Yeah. That's still happening. I thought that was over like 15 years ago.
That looks good on goth chicks, but that's about it.
Yeah, it was good to be back home in the nut.
So you like us, when you were headed, I didn't know you were headed there, but then it made me think about Gay 90s Day and how weird it would be to observe that thing that I used to go to. But you've been to this before throughout
Oh yeah, I mean,
every year.
Walnut does a 4th of July thing every year. I just hadn't been in a number of years. But this was Walnut's 150th anniversary, their sesquicentennial.
Yeah.
So
And then
they really went all out. They had I'll send Chaille some stuff. He can put up some links.
The picture's great. The family picture for one.
That was
You got to talk
funny.
about that.
Yeah.
Did you is that why you went? Because it was the 150th to recreate the photo, or was that just
it
a
wasn't
side
to
thing?
recreate the photo? No, it was just that it was.
You did great.
There were some other friends who I knew were going to be back, and it was like this was the one everyone was going to go back to. So, do this one, and then that's it.
That's it.
Go back
it's like class reunion, 4th of July, family reunion, all that shit.
Yep, kind of like that. Yeah, it was fun, man. It's a wild. It's wild. It's a stupid little town with 1,000 people, and then they spend probably $50,000 on their fireworks. I mean, it's
speeding tickets.
It's way bigger than any town of 1,000 people should have. Like they have most of their city budget is spent in about 25 minutes on a Sunday night in the summer. Like it's fucking crazy. And where they shoot them off over the baseball diamonds, which is right next to where I grew up. I can walk, it's through 2 backyards and I can sit there, but they're like right over top of you. So all of the shit rains down on you after it explodes. It's incredible. It shouldn't happen. Like if it was in a bigger town, they'd be like, we can't have this, someone's going to get hurt. But in Walnut, they're just like, whatever.
You guys have like a big gathering of people to, where everybody hangs out together.
Yeah. There was a family. The whole family was back and all of that. It was the whole town went. This was like their big one. They even had wrestling. There was wrestling. They have a big beer garden, and they have like a playground and like a old time antique car show and all this shit. But they had wrestling one day, and it was like 5 o'clock, and they had a big ring set up outside, and the wrestlers came out of the school, because it's right next to the school. And then they did a whole thing, and it was fun.
Did you boo them? Or they good?
Definitely booed. We definitely booed. We heckled. And there was some bullshit. I'll tell you what, here's something I didn't realize. These wrestling referees, not very good.
Yeah.
They're like always looking the wrong way. There's always shit going on behind. They're like overly concerned with what's happening in one area while there's a bunch of shenanigans happening.
Yeah, do they have a camp? Do they have a referee camp? And could you explain how long a guy can stay in a ring after he tags out? Because it's just not clear, and different leagues have different interpretations. It should be more
clear before they start the match.
This was how it worked. They had it after you tag off, then or not even that, but anytime you were doing something illegal, the referee would loudly count to 5. And as long as you stopped doing it before you got to 5, everything was okay. So you could just be, the guy's just hammering him with his elbow or something. 1, 2, and he just keeps going right up to 4.5, and then he breaks off. And the referee's like, no, better watch it. I almost got to 5. You'd have been in big trouble.
I should have used my way to get to Dutch Savage I could have been a referee in wrestling.
Oh,
you're explaining it. It sounds like all the shit I did, like when I was a linesman in volleyball. I wasn't paying attention. I was like, I'm not good for volleyball, but put me in a wrestling thing, and I can be like counting 1, 2, 3, 4.
Actually, you're right, Andy. They could take your lack of ability to follow direction and natural inattentiveness, and that's kind of what it takes to be a wrestling referee.
Yeah, and I knew Dutch Savage, so I could have made it happen.
Willing to take a bribe.
Well, my uncle
got all the qualities.
Dutch Savage was Dutch Savage
becomes
pitched
pre-bribe.
for my uncle. I don't think a Dutch Savage would know who I was. He's dead anyway, but he did pitches for my uncle's trailer park. Something like my uncle sold trailers though. He wasn't like a renting parking spots. He's upper class trailer salesman. Anyway, Dutch Savage, he wasn't much of he was a regional talent. And
I think that's what this event was at Walnut Days. Is I'm looking at this ZOWA Zawa is a pro wrestling academy based in Rock Falls, Illinois.
Wow. Oh, really?
Only
So
20
local.
miles from Walmart.
Oh, man.
They didn't even have to travel far.
Wow.
They were excited for that gig.
Holy shit! Yeah,
man. It was big.
There was no midgets though. It's a bummer.
He had to work.
I don't like like those throw together. Yeah, he'd have to wrestle himself because there's only one. That's there's gonna be more midgets. Just hold on, midget wrestling.
The midget got more lucrative for the July gigs than the other guys did. He went on his own and did some shit.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be a growth league. It's the midget wrestling. Start cultivating talent as they arrive. They'll be arriving from the southern states. Like open a midget wrestling academy in a free state or anywhere.
Although I think you might have to call it little people wrestling.
Yeah, little fellers.
Which doesn't sound as good.
Little fellas.
No,
yeah,
that ruins all jokes too. If you have a good midget joke, you can't tell it as a little person. You can't substitute the word little person. It doesn't work.
Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey was the last guy who had the rights to do it.
Midget jokes are still told though, but just because there's not really as many around. You know, like if you tell racist jokes, people will look around and make sure that race is not around. You don't even have to worry that much with midgets.
You can include that in your jokes. Like I'm looking around for midgets under the table and shit. Is there?
Everybody I don't want to check under their table.
I don't want to say anything if there's any around here.
You got to get in touch with the times. It's not even called midget wrestling anymore. It's called micro wrestling.
That's
there's another one called Micromania.
What was when I saw little people with Kiss makeup on at a bar and I was shirtless and tripping on mushrooms? Was I seeing Mini Kiss or Midget Kiss?
Mini Kiss.
Yeah, Mini Kiss was awesome. Their bus was late, but when they got there, it was like I was probably the happiest person by far in the bar. It was in Boise, and I had just a few stems of mushrooms. But when they walked in, everybody else I think was mad that the midget band was late, and I was like, "Can you believe this shit? Little Mini Kiss is gonna be in this building." So I was like a kid at Disneyland, and when they walked in, I was like, "Fuck yeah!" and took my shirt off and waving it around and shit.
I mean, were they actual rows late, or were they just like?
Their van had a flat or something, and they were like a.
Was it a short bus?
It took all hands on deck to change the tire.
Nobody could reach the gas pedal. They couldn't get there.
You can only jack it up so far.
Yeah. So one way or another, they got there. I think they had a big.
They were just a little late.
Yeah, they were a teensy bit.
No.
But
that was good.
If you close your eyes, or you just squinted when they were, and they didn't sound like Kiss that much, but if you just squinted, like some guitars and shit.
Andy,
good.
This is how you were on mushrooms. They sounded exactly like Kiss.
Yeah, because Kiss.
I know this.
Really? You've seen them?
Yeah, well, because Mini Kiss doesn't play. They don't play instruments. They just lip sync Kiss songs.
Oh shit! Yeah, I've been tricky. I mean, I had my mind blown away by a one-man band that was dressed like a hot dog before too. So I wouldn't run out and buy all their backlog of shit. Those little bastards.
I'm pretty sure that I'm right about that because I remember.
No, they don't play. They don't even. They just lip sync and they. Yeah.
I remember.
Dude, imagine their little.
No wonder everybody else was pissed. because I thought they were legit, and everybody else knew they were a scam because they'd been there before. Fuckers.
Or maybe
Anyway,
that's what everybody, they're just counting on everyone being on mushrooms.
yeah. If they would have wrestled, it would have been cool.
I mean, if they knew everyone was going to be on mushrooms, they could send the B team. They wouldn't even need to send the
It was
guys
just-
who put on makeup.
Yeah. That's the midget. I might be speaking out of remembering it wrong, but I think midget wrestling was a faster game. It's like men's tennis versus women's tennis is like when midgets wrestle, they're all amped up. I don't know if they just can't handle the cocaine as well as the big wrestlers, but it seemed
A
like
little
it
goes
was,
a long way.
yeah, it seemed like they were bouncing off the ropes and shit. I saw it live once.
Or the rope, as the case may be.
Yeah, the lower. Yeah, that's them, I think. It looks like,
That's one of them.
well, that one, I don't remember there being
Well, it's not Mini Bon Jovi.
yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, it freaked me out at first, but I was fucking a brave little man standing there, towering over the band.
Oh man,
I'm
That
not
one's pregnant.
Yeah, that's what
it
it
does
looks
look
like.
like that.
Shit. They all wear makeup. Everybody's gender neutral. It could happen. Their vans broke down. Maybe they just, while it's getting jacked up. Is that Cat? Who's the characters?
Cat fucked the
Peter
owl.
Chris makeup.
Yeah, Cat
That's
fucked the owl. The cat fucked the owl. And Demon went running after.
What's the little dude from Cannonball Run? That's who the cat looks
Billy
like.
Barty?
No, fuck no, the little blonde guy. God damn it!
Oh yeah,
When I come up with a reference,
I
I
know.
don't remember.
Oh,
Yeah,
Paul Williams.
Paul Williams.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yes.
big in the Hoyt Axton trucker show genre. Fuck yeah.
This is them with Kiss. Or they snuck into Madame Tussauds to do a photo shoot. Wax Museum.
Yeah, they probably paid for it, like the
Yeah, painting.
NFL getting honored or honoring the troops.
Yeah.
Many kids probably had to give them a pledge and kiss their rings,
Uh-huh.
and in some cases, other things they wanted.
I
Just,
think a group of even smaller midgets should make
Yeah.
a group that's another kiss.
Mini
Micro
kiss.
kiss.
Down,
Mhm.
Micro mini kiss.
What do they call it? Just little kiss.
Look,
They're like smaller
they're
than
a
them.
rap
Yeah.
group.
Like there'd be Russian dolls. Take a
Yeah.
big kiss and break them in half, and then little kiss comes out, and mini kiss, and then fat kiss would be cool too.
Oh, yeah.
Would you go see a band that was just like the rolling tubs or whatever, just big fat guys that
I would see a fat
Like
version
Fat
of the Rolling
Kiss?
Stones.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't seen Kiss. They're pretty old. They might be Fat Kiss now.
Well,
They might
I don't
be.
think Kiss is. I think Kiss is pretty fit. There's
Are
really
they?
no.
Paul Stanley's pretty. He's pretty proud of his. Like,
I think you got to
that's-
cite Motley Crue and I think even Axl Rose has shed a few pies at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah,
because
definitely.
he
Vince
was way
Neil's a
fatter.
fucking hog,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Axl Rose is kind of thick,
Yeah.
natural thick. He's like what like a person his age should probably look like.
Mhm. Yeah, he'd be good in biker shows now. He's got that look.
But yeah, I'd go see a Rolling
Mhm.
Stones
A
fat version.
all fat or an all fat women.
Yeah.
AC/DC. I know there's Hell's Bells, and I don't know that they're fat broads, but you'll see, I mean, how can that Ann Wilson did her best singing 100 pounds heavier.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Hart they did that. They beat everybody to the punch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's not even as big as she was, but I saw her when she was real big, and it was like, holy shit, she's fucking good.
Yeah.
Bigger women, bigger pipes, maybe, I don't know, but
She could sing even before, but she was all coked up. When she quit doing cocaine, she got fat.
yeah, yes,
You got to readjust. You got to relearn the craft.
Well, once you stop doing cocaine, you start eating.
mm-hmm.
That too.
Same thing happened to Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of
And they're both beautiful women.
There wasn't a lot of
No-
like
no,
fitness movement at that point.
No disparagement.
Yeah, that's right. Big gals sing better than
Big, beautiful when they were big as well. Look at her.
Nancy's
Gorgeous.
really showing her age here.
Yeah, Nancy
Yeah.
look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I never pictured Nancy with that much facial hair, but
she looks a lot like Marty Shoulders.
oh man.
He probably does cover. I bet he covers some heart. I doubt he does, but he may be able to do one. We'll request it if we ever
Yeah.
see him again.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see him again.
I'm taking it easy on not the cocaine, but I'm trying not to do sugared sodas because
Good for you.
why? So I'm drinking one Coke, but generally I would gulp it down by now. And I don't
Yeah,
buy them
good. Get off that shit. That shit's no good for you.
Yeah, it fucks your teeth up too.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get like fucking right on that shit.
Yeah.
It's like chemotherapy for your mouth with sugar. That's what I should request is put sugar in the bag. But here's the thing is they want to keep it, they want to keep the port in a while. So I'm thinking, it'd be kind of convenient to have that in the desert. So,
Mhm.
hey, you guys getting a little dehydrated? Not me.
The hottest spot on Earth, one of the lowest points on the continent, and like not even a phone that's reliable, even for the business out there. And
I'd
you want
have
to
to
go fucking around with your port.
I'd have to get a better wheels for the rolly part of the cart. 'Cause that's what makes it funny is to have the whole
Oh,
thing.
you'd have the
But I could
cat-
just hook up a
the
bag.
IV caddy.
Yeah, they
rolling
keep it
along.
in. I could keep it in. Well, they say they keep it in for 6 weeks. So like, shop around. What's ketamine? What's a bag of ketamine? I'm asking her, do we have any veterinarians? Listen, it's for a small horse, a Shetland pony.
Yeah.
My
With
pony's
a
sad.
Shetland pony that has AIDS. That's about my weight.
An old Shetland.
Let's smoke some more of this marijuana.
Are you still doing edibles, Andy?
Yep, a little bit. Yeah, I know. I smoke the green now and I've been going through it pretty quick actually. So, but I figure
did they say anything about that when you
it's
go
probably in the directions. But like if you're taking chemotherapy drugs, that kills cancer. So if I'm smoking weed and that some say cause cancer or whatever, like, well, it's push
Smoke
here.
causes cancer.
I don't think it causes cancer.
But all
I
that
think
Roundup I
it's
sprayed
smoking weed.
around and got on my fingers.
It should help you. It should help with any nausea.
Yeah. So I smoke regularly.
When I was in high school, I guess I was in college. I was in college and I was working a job back in Walnut for the summer with my dad at the construction company that he worked at. And I got hit in the eye with a piece of metal because I was fucking around and I didn't have safety glasses on. I committed two it was obviously my fault entirely, but it hit me in the eye and it fucked my eye up. It like made a cut across the like actual iris of my eye. Like there was blood running down my,
Ugh.
yeah. So, but it wasn't deep. It was but it was superficial on there. It caught me, and so I had to have surgery on my eye and I had like a bunch of stitches put actually on my eyeball.
On the eye, yeah.
And
what?
Yeah, it was a trip. But and it all worked out. But it was funny because my mom and dad were like, after the surgery was over, I had to go back every couple of weeks and see this doctor. And, they would take the stitches out. Some would dissolve. Some had to get cut out. It was a whole thing. And my parents were like, they had just realized at that point that I was smoking a lot of weed. And they were like, I think that you better watch out with that because of what's going on with your eye. like you don't want to fucking do anything bad to your eye, so you better back it down. Like, we wouldn't tell you you do whatever you want, but just for your own health and safe, and then when we went to the doctor to have some stitches removed, my dad actually, just to drive the point home, asked the doctor in front of me about, well, one thing about it is my son, he smokes marijuana. And the doctor was like, oh, that actually will be helpful because it'll actually calm down the nerves in the eye and allow the eye to, read all this shit. And I was just like, you fucked up, old man. Yeah, it was funny.
Nice.
The doctor was like, I don't think I'm going to give you the answer you want to hear, Mr. Erickson.
That's a progressive doctor in a little
Yeah.
In a little town.
It was a woman. So that's part of it. So she'd already put up with enough bullshit from the old boys network. She was trying to tell some truth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to smoke weed all summer long too, while getting paid to not go to work. It was a pretty good scam in the end.
Yeah.
Doctor's orders, Dad.
Yeah, exactly right.
I wish I'd have known about getting hurt on the job earlier.
Yeah, it fucked me up though, because my right eye still is sensitive to light. Like I can't keep my right eye open in bright light. I have to kind of close it.
So
A lot of people bright light.
But it's directly because of a cut across the iris won't close, or whatever it is, it won't close all the way, so I can't.
But you smoked a lot of weed too, so that probably caused some of it.
It could have.
It's like you're injured and then you fucking sliced it open every time you smoked weed.
Hey, Erickson, you have to be awake when they put the stitches in?
Not when they put them in, but I was awake when they took them out.
Yeah.
It was brutal. This is what she would do. She would put me in this thing that would hold my face still.
Yeah,
and they
like
put these drops in my
Orange.
eye that made my fucking, retina, gigantic. And then she would be like, all right, pick out a spot on the wall with your left eye directly ahead of you and stare at it, and do not look at anything else with your left eye, no matter what. Which is not as easy to do as but especially because and the reasoning is that your eyes work together. So she wants your right eye to stay still, so your left eye has to stay still, but she's telling you to hold your left eye still so you can think about what's happening with your left eye, because with her in your right eye that you can't quite see, she's coming at the actual fucking eyeball with scissors that she's going to snip and pull, and you can, like, it's numb, but you can sort of feel them being pulled out, and you just got to keep staring, and she's like encouraging you to stare straight forward the whole time. And if you look over to the side, it'll fuck her all up. And
Did they put you on any kind of anesthesia, like some kind of like a twilight drug that made you not
No, not when I was getting them taken out.
Coming at your eye?
Not when I was getting them taken out. I just went in. It was like a 10-minute thing. They dropped the eyeball, they dropped the drops in, wait till my eyes dilated, and then snip. They would take like 5 out at a time.
Yeah.
And then the ones that were farther back just dissolved.
Yeah.
That's some fucking.
It was weird, man. It was fucked up too. Sometimes, like, it would be a couple days before I was ready to go in, and I could feel one of them, and it would like get loose or something. And it's like every time you blink your eye, there's something in your eye. You can feel it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like when you chip a piece of your tooth or something, you can't stop touching it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Jenny.
Oh yeah. Wear your safety glasses, kids. You can smoke weed, but wear your safety goggles at all times.
Jenny worked at an eye surgery place as like a surgery tech, and she would tell me about it, and I would cringe, like, about how they'd slice their eye open and then take like a rolled up new lens and slide it up in there and let it unfurl into the fucking eye. And
it's really fucking amazing.
I was like, I don't know how you can sit there and watch this. I don't even want to hear about that. Fuck, that makes my butthole pucker
We have
up.
a mutual friend who had eye surgery, and I was asking him about it, and he said that This was after it had been done, and it was night and day. That was it, done. It's like totally worth it. And I go, so what do they have to do? And they did unfurl the thing in there. And the reason I asked you about the drugs is because they give you it nowadays. And, you know, as a man, not as a kid who smokes weed, fucking around without eye protection. He said that they give you a drug where you don't even care that this metal thing, because he had to be awake when they cut into the eye. And they do the one eye, and they're going to have to do the other one later. They only do one at a time, just like LASIK surgery, but they had to slice the eye, put it in there, and take the old thing out, put the new one in. And he goes, you start counting backwards, and then you don't even give a shit that there's someone cutting your eye open while you're awake.
Drugs are so good.
Yeah.
That is amazing that even that we're
Praise
able
drugs.
to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, praise drugs.
He just had
Also a good title for the podcast.
the right team of people around you. You could do so much with drugs. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily get shit done, but you could like just take me right to the edge, and then 10 minutes later bring me back, or what, you know.
Yeah, like flatliners.
Mm-hmm. Like proper dosing, you know. That's why I wouldn't be good with that sort of things. Like,
Oh, you're an advocate for proper dosing, Andy? Is that what you're saying?
well, if I were filling the syringes and injecting them, I would have had some problems by now. They come pre-loaded, so it's just stick it in and pop it out.
Good.
I could deal with that, but yeah.
Do you think you could give someone an injection, Andy?
Yeah. Oh yeah, now.
And it's only intramuscular too. It's not, you're not hitting veins or anything.
Yeah, I could do. I mean, you know, the big problem is doing myself, or being me. I'd poke a hole in someone else, no problem. Now, I could save people's lives with my abilities. 1590, I don't know. Fucking just jab it in there, man.
Andy, have you had
I ain't good with angles.
First aid class? You ever taken a course in first aid, like CPR and stuff?
I took a massage class. That's a little different. No, I didn't. I'm not really.
There's been a car accident. People lying all over the highway dead. Andy pulls up and starts.
I did do that.
Happened. That happened with Andy in Florida.
Rubbing a guy's foot.
I helped him. Well, I helped in Death
Andy was
Valley
the first
too.
responder. He was the first on the scene in Florida at the bus accident.
I was
that's
first.
awesome.
I was in the first seat of the accident.
The
Yeah.
bus driver was very relaxed.
I was the
when
one
he
who's like, let's call some people. So I was like, I'm calling. Yeah, hello, first responder. I'm on the scene. Hello.
Check it in.
No, I was
Check
like,
in and see if there's anything else I can do.
yeah. It turns out I did as much as the firemen or the policemen around there.
Yeah.
Just told people, sorry, you got to get out of, you know, sent off the freeway. I'm with this bus company. Well, they say they don't know me anymore. Those fucks. What's
you
up?
guys see the other day they had on Twitter a gal said there's a doubling of cases of scromiting, where people smoke too much high potency weed over a long period of time, and they develop a condition where they scream and vomit for long periods of time without ending and no relief, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. It's from smoking too much weed.
They have to have at least TikTok evidence or it's not real.
I don't believe it, because first of all, it sounds like bullshit. Second of all, Chad would have been the first person to have it.
That's what I was like.
Someone we know would have had it.
Mhm.
Definitely.
I mean, who smokes more weed than Chad?
Not very many.
Could it be replaced instead of screaming just with rants? It's pretty hard for us to be a proper screamer.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been scared and shit, and I just say, "Oh fuck,"
right.
or whatever.
I mean, when you said scromedy, I thought it was some new kind of hipster comedy like thing, because they were doing that
I
thing
thought
where
it was your balls.
people get really stoned and do a set. They do a sober set and then a high set.
Yeah.
My
That's the
first
worst.
inclination to do was make some sort of a scrotuming joke, but I couldn't I couldn't make one, so
I
I
think
just made other jokes that were probably equally unfunny on Twitter.
I
but
think if
I thought it was hilarious.
I think every condition that marijuana caught, like they try to say like a small amount can overdose you or whatever. It's like I've eaten like super high dose shit that makes your head just feel like it's going to come off and float, like Mr. Mackey in the South Park, just floating around, man. But you come back around. I
Andy,
think
we were going to a gig in Duluth, and on the way to the fucking venue, we were walking. Someone handed you a gummy. You put it right in your mouth, and I go, "What was that?" You're like, "I don't know." And it turns out it was 100 milligrams of acid that you took walking to the show.
yeah, I know.
That's not his fault.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you fans, stay away.
Well, a gummy, you have to tell someone that gummy's
It was
not weed.
well, it was. I
Like,
think
that's on the
where was that in Duluth?
Duluth, we were going to
No.
that Irish bar.
It was everybody in the audience seemed to be tripping too. So
It was
That's
a
the
that
kind
was
of
just your
fascinating.
take on it after taking 100 milligrams.
right.
That's the kind of gummy you give to somebody wrapped in directions.
Right.
You
It
don't
was
have
wrapped
that.
in foil, and I don't
Yeah,
think Andy could get it open fast enough and in his
Oh,
mouth.
if it's wrapped in
was
foil, that's your clue right there, Andy.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
don't
thought
do
it-
something wrapped in foil without thinking about what
I
it is.
apologize to
Foil.
anyone in Duluth if I signed your poster wrong. I just
You
didn't
spent
understand
about
the
3
concept.
seconds at the merch booth, and like, I can't do this. Like,
I was spinning like, say, go, would you sign this? And I was like, I don't know if you like light loops.
here, I'll hold the pen. You write your name underneath the pen.
Yeah, it was you live and learn on dosing.
Yeah.
But aluminum
Right.
foil is precarious. It's a tough way of thinking.
If someone hands you drugs in aluminum foil, assume that it's not a marijuana gum.
Yeah, I remember one time
Probably psychedelics.
just smoking weed with this guy, and then he said, "It's wet." That's cool. I got it going, but he meant it was wet with angel dust.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That was outside of the punchline.
I wouldn't have known that
show.
reference.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Hey man, you're responsible for me. I think it was Doug. I think I smoked angel dust.
I'm with you
Eye
on
on
this
me.
one too, Andy. I would have not known what that meant. I would have thought you
Yeah.
meant, oh, you
Uh-huh.
lipped it, and now I gotta get
Right.
it. Yeah.
I mean, you would at least know it's something not
I
good.
gotta hold the lighter to it longer. It
Yeah.
didn't dry out.
Bigger puff.
You can't use a word that also could be a realistic adjective
Yeah.
for the situation that's common.
Yeah, it's like
sharing joint.
if I would have smoked it and then go, hey man, do you got a skate key? We're gonna throw around 1970s references. Give me a skate key and I'll get wet with you. So I got to get out of my skates.
How about if you put angel dust into a joint? How about if you say it's dusty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
even
would be
that.
Careful.
That's
There's a
right.
lot of angel dust in this
Be
joint.
careful for all you-
That might be the best.
I mean, really, you don't need much code.
Well, it's funny.
Whisper close to the guy.
Yeah, it's angel
It's fun to make
dust.
little
That's-
names. I remember we'd put cocaine on the top of our bong hits, and it was called snow
Kill 'em.
caps.
Snow caps, yeah.
Uh-huh. And then when we mixed what was it, mushrooms and cocaine, and that was in Death Valley, Mocaine. And then when we mixed Ronnie Putnam in his ashes in a whippet, I don't think we had a name for that. We should have.
A puppet.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think Doug surprised us by even breaking it out. Like we didn't even get a chance to name it, but he did huff part of Putnam with a whippet. It was, I don't know how much the whippet stood up in the bag of ash. But
Well, it was there. It was in there.
yeah. That's how we all dream of going. It's our friend fiending our ashes in front of a group. Just light his ashes on fire and then smoke them. I want to be in a dart mixed with like a little bit of fentanyl, just a walking around amount of fentanyl and something that goes good with that.
I'm glad you thought this through.
Yeah, this is
There's
good.
something that goes good with
Well,
that.
I was gonna say
Oh,
cocaine, but
good.
those two don't collaborate
Nothing
well.
goes good with fentanyl, dummy.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean-
it's a dart, so it'd be like a measured amount instead of what they
You want
slap.
someone to hit you with a blow dart, so you don't know when it's gonna
When
hit
I
you?
had fentanyl in a hospital and it was from a needle, that was the best thing I ever had. So I'm
Yeah,
saying
you
this
know
is
what was
like
on the other end of that needle? A doctor.
An anesthesiologist.
Yeah.
I know, but if you have a blow and then it's a little bit of your ashes, and then you stick your friend in the neck and they're like, oh, that's Andy. And then they pass out and they wake up all relaxed and
He
shit.
doesn't even turn around. He feels it in his neck and he goes, Andy.
Andy,
Oh,
Yeah.
just coursing through my veins, Andy.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll stay with you until you wake up. And then I gotta be out of here. Inman's calling me.
ATM code.
That's my nightmare, is that I die and Inman summons me to his place. And then I just have an awkward evening sitting around.
That
going,
never ends.
Can I go now? He did the
You
Buddhist
have to rub
prayers.
his feet.
Yeah, the Buddhist prayers. It's just like it's like that joke about, does Jimi Hendrix want to play guitar with all these people that show up in heaven? Like Inman summons people after they die. Like, man, I don't want my cat at your place. He said he's done that before, so I'm going to make sure that that's in my will, that Inman can't summon me. I don't want to do that. And he'll
Yeah.
outlive
Well, then it's
he'll
in-
outlive all of us and then retell. He'll do a revisionist history of the Unbookables.
Yeah, he'll do the Unbookables with all our kids.
He'll tear up all the textbooks that mention the old Unbookables.
Oh, maybe you'll do a prequel with your kids.
Yeah.
Like where
Oh.
they're, yeah.
They play us at the beginning, the start
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, in the beginning, the early
Yeah.
early days when the bookable, I call it bookables.
Yeah.
My daughter.
Yeah.
My daughter would.
Back when Andy was a girl.
Inman
Like,
looks like
it's
his
not
James Inman looks like his, or at least he looked like his dad at some point in his life. His dad has James Inman's face.
Yeah,
I've seen
Is
him.
it still around?
What's that?
Isn't it?
Yeah, his
still
dad's still
around?
Inman still got parents. I think he's still got a
Inman would
mom
have
and
his
a dad.
dad's face, right?
Yeah, yeah. I saw, I mean, it was like he posted a picture of his dad when his dad was young, and I was like, fuck, I bet that guy got his ass kicked a few times. He talked like James, 'cause he's a little version. No, but Jimmy's a good looking fella. His dad's good.
All right,
looking.
time
Don't
for
call me.
recommendations. I
Yeah,
feel like
all
we're
right.
wandering.
we've
All
gotten
right,
to that
all
point.
I feel like we've
My
lost
rec,
the
I
plot a
know.
little bit.
I'm
Hey, let me go first because I go
Okay.
last all the time. and
All
I'm
right,
gonna
all
go
right, all
first
right.
time. I found this the other night. I know you guys, so one of you mentioned, I think it was Chad, Dark Side of the Ring.
No, that was Andy.
That was
Yeah,
Andy.
yeah, the
Okay, yeah.
wrestling.
I've watched
Just
a few of
looking at it
those. They're-
today.
they're-
I
they're
haven't
good.
seen that, but the other night I was flipping around and I found A&E's biography, WWE Legends, and I saw the Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I had I've been to one wrestling match in my life. I really haven't really watched one on TV. I don't even remember the one I went to. But this one was fucking so interesting. Stone Cold Steve Austin, how he came up through the ranks, and then what happened when he actually found his character and went on. And then I found out it's a series that is on. It comes out a new character, a new profile each week on Sundays on A&E.
Oh,
It's a
wow.
biography, WWE Legends. And the
Nice.
Stone Cold Steve Austin one was fucking amazing.
Wrestling seems like if comedy were the Wild West, like because these guys come to town and it's like 20 of them and they're all party, hang out. Some of them are doing their own shit or whatever, but it's like this big circus coming to town, and then those guys were always in that circus, so they fucking had some interesting highs and lows
Yeah,
for
man.
sure.
Well, coming up is the crazy thing, because until you get like tapped and they have a path for you, which isn't always you're going to be the number one, like Hulk Hogan or something like that. Until you can actually break in and you've got a character, you might go through 3 or 4 characters before they even fucking figure one out that works. And then it might not work and then you have to keep going. And then there was one guy, it was a guy who played Mankind. He does comedy now. He did Cactus Jack was his character for a while.
Oh yeah, Mick Foley.
Mick Foley. And he's
great.
talking about Stone Cold because he was coming up around the same time. And I'm looking at him and he's like kind of a 3/4 angle and his fucking ear is gone. I'm like, what the fuck? They did a gag where they wrapped him up in the ropes or something like this. And they twist one rope over and one like this. And he was in there and he was trying to get out. And the ref came over to get him because they saw he was in trouble. And he was so wrapped up in this. They tightened the ropes too tight because some of the wrestlers earlier were complaining. And he ripped his ear off, pulling his head out from the fucking ropes.
What?
Did the ref count to 5?
This isn't even the story.
2,
I did this on my own.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, his fucking ear came off.
And his ear is just like this fucking, it's like just flat again. Fucking
Yeah.
insane.
Evander Holyfield wasn't that worked up about losing part of his ear either. I mean, wrestlers have fucked up ears anyway.
Yeah, I know, but
That's
no.
probably. Oh, I
He has
know.
no ear.
Yeah.
It fucking got pulled off. And then he was supposed to go and they were going to reattach it and everything, but he had another match. So he fucking did.
He could have, like David Tribble had one made out of other parts of his body and had an
Yeah.
ear made.
You
I
can
think
sculpt it, but
You could have a screer.
You could take some of your ass. Ass
I
would be
think
good.
that's where cartilage comes from, Andy.
Well, anyway, it's David
All right,
Tribble.
so A&E's biography, WWE Legends
know.
on Sunday night. It's
All
fucking amazing. Just saw the one, a replay of one, Roddy Piper, which was
Oh yeah.
He's great.
just fucking awesome. And,
And
the
Rowdy
Stone
was one
Cold
of them.
was amazing because I mean, wrestling is never bigger than it is now. I mean, at his pinnacle, it was fucking insane, and it's still one of the biggest road productions on the road at any time is wrestling. So that's me.
Right on. All right, I'll go next. So on my way to the airport yesterday with my son was driving me to the airport. We listened to something he had told me about a couple times, but I fucking loved it. And I don't know, maybe it's not a good idea to recommend other podcasts on a podcast, but the Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast is fucking great. If you're a fan of the show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The podcast is fantastic. They do a deep dive on an episode. Every episode is a deep dive of an episode of Sunny. So they all rewatch it again, and then they talk about the episode and they talk about whatever. And it's fucking great. Those guys are just funny to me all the time. The podcast is great, and they're only like 30 minutes, 45-minute long podcasts too. So it's not like fucking rambling on like we do.
Yeah.
So check it out. It's wherever you get your podcast. I fucking loved it. I'm now in, and they a lot of great stories.
I've been randomly just watching some Always Sunny again, just as background
good.
stuff, because I've seen it all so many times, the older stuff, and it'll be cool to start with number one with that. Watch one, and then listen to one.
The one we
follow along.
listened to was the one about the episode where the gang tried out for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they tell the story about how Faison Love, who was like the coach, was supposedly there was an appearance by Donovan McNabb, but it wasn't really Donovan McNabb, and they tell the story of how that scene all played out, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, and like one of the things they also say is like everyone who comes on the show, they think that these guys are like great improvisers, and I guess they kind of are, but they script everything. But a lot of the people they work with are just like, freestyling it. So there was a bunch of funny shit there. Like Like basically
Hey.
Based on Love couldn't say Donovan McNabb's name. He just kept accidentally mispronouncing it. And then they decided that it was funnier if they, since it wasn't really Donovan McNabb, they could just play it off like, oh, they can't legally call him Donovan McNabb. And that's why he said is, Dominam McNabb and Nab. And yeah, there's a lot of funny shit like that in there. It's great. I love those guys. So check it out.
That would be good. I have a kind of a weird rambly one this time, so I'll let Andy close it out with a better one. So let me go first.
Okay.
Way to sell it.
Yeah.
Well, it's good, but it's like a three-parter. So recently I listened to an audiobook called Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut. And it was the first time I had never in my life read a book by Kurt Vonnegut. I know I'm always behind on everything, so this is not exactly going to be a recommendation about Kurt Vonnegut, but it was really good. And I was immediately after that one, I got another audio book and then another, so I'd listened to a few, and then I went ahead and got this full collection of Kurt Vonnegut on Amazon for a smoking deal, because that guy is really hilarious and fun to read and listen to. There's also a documentary on Hulu, but I have not watched it yet. But Tom Konopka recommended it to me, and I would pass it along with his recommendation, called Kurt Vonnegut Unstuck in Time.
Nice.
Which is something that I'm definitely going to watch, but I have not yet. But my recommendation would just be to listen to or find a book that somebody that you have not listened to that, or been exposed to before, because holy shit, I was blown away by that, dude.
Right on, man. Vonnegut's great.
All right, I got to close up with something I did watch, but it's not, I don't know where it's available. It's called Unrivaled. It's about the Detroit Red Wings and Colorado Avalanche. It's on ESPN. It's like ESPN 60. And it aired for the month, and I didn't see any more airings on ESPN. It's like on streaming. But anyway, it's this fucking brutal feud between these teams, and some of the fighting that goes on in this shit, you think you're watching a slapstick or something. It's like, no way did this actually happen, that they fought from the get-go. But just the blood feud between those two teams, I had no idea how far back that ran. And there's a guy who gets his face nearly caved in, and another guy who won't apologize, and that's kind of the narrative of the thing.
Wow.
But yeah, it's fucking brutal. It's like watching, I forgot hockey was
It's weird that
violent.
Yeah, it's weird that Colorado and Detroit would have a big rivalry. I mean,
yeah, I think
not a traditional.
I think it might have gone back to kind of this hit where this guy caves in, this guy's face hits the board and it's all fucked up, and then he gets off the ice, and that's a big source of pride that he got off the ice. Like they did, you don't carry your whole face.
Here, Andy, it says Unrivaled is a love letter to old time hockey.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a you feel soaked in blood just watching it. There you go.
Nice. All right. I feel like those are good recommendations we all put out there this week. These people who watch this podcast are lucky that they have us helping enlighten them every week. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for being out there on Issues with Andy. Don't forget, we have a Patreon. There it is. We're going to do more Patreon stuff. We'll schedule some stuff and have talked to some more people on there. So check it out. $5 a month is all it is. Very simple. And you get everything you get here and more on Patreon. And that's it. Thanks for being out there. We love you guys. We couldn't do it without you. So check us out next week. We'll be right back here. We'll have some new recommendations for you and some pretty stupid stories. So we'll see you then. Thanks.
Fingers crossed.